Hey y'all, welcome to practice and welcome to Heyburn State Park in Idaho. I'm grateful to have this place to practice and to share it with you. In honor of our surroundings, you might hear the Canadian Geese go by or friends and family riding by on the bike path. But more importantly, we'll be practicing to embody the ripples across the calm water, the clouds passing by overhead, to let our breath, our thoughts, our anxieties, our stress, our emotions, even our creativity and our vitality flow through us more seamlessly, more simply, letting ourselves move and breathe to smooth out the ripples of tension, of excitement, of stress or anxiety in our bodies as well as our minds, our hearts. Thanks for coming. Take a comfortable seat. Whether you're seated on a chair or on the floor, perhaps even bringing a chair in front of you or a table, walk your hands forward, elevated or on the ground. Lift and lengthen your spine. And exhale, wiggle side to side, move side to side, any amount. Breathe deeply and fully. Push your hands into the ground. Elevate your armpits. Inhale and lift and breathe more spaciousness into your back body. Literally breathe spaciousness between the ribs, from the lower ribs up into the middle ribs. Taking a few breaths to concentrate here on even opening up into the top of the rib cage. Underneath, behind the shoulder blades. Broadening and widening the space for your breath to expand within you. And then as you're ready, you can move your hands over to the right and continue this broadening, opening, even add any amount of movement through the spine, letting this softness and this exploration ripple out through your body. Just like the Canadian goose you might hear in the distance, your body, a particular area may let out a squawk. Take your time there, perhaps even soften and breathe a little bit deeper there. Or pause, stay there, explore what ripples of tension, tightness, stiffness emanate from that point. Take your time exploring that side, and then when you're ready, go to the second side. Again, your hands can be elevated up on a chair, a block, multiple blocks, books, or if you happen to be near a log. But the aim here is to let your breath and your body ripple into connection with one another. Not just to push into a spacious quality, but to expand and contract through your natural breath and a little exploratory creative movement towards finding the nooks and crannies of your own body. And all that's hidden there, that's buried there, or that's just under the surface. Take your time. Breathe your way back to center. Hands can come to the knees or stay out in front of you. Inhale, push into the ground or your knees, lift your chest, lengthen your spine. Gaze up. Exhale, round the spine backwards, the shoulder blades away from one another. If your hands are on your knees, you can even draw your belly back. Inhale again. Shoulder blades can draw back, or fingertips press down to again lengthen and elevate your armpits. And then exhale, round. Continuing with your breath a few times. And then even here, as we did our side body lengthening and opening, start to move now the ribs over to the right. The side body on the right starts to open, and then back again to that rounded spine. Over to the left, left side body lengthens, and then again chest forward. We'll make 2 more complete circles like that. Over to the right, lengthen, maybe even draw the left ear down towards the left shoulder, moving your neck into this. All the way over to the left. Back to center. One more time to the right. Coming back to center. And then one more time, exhale, forward fold, any amount. Inhale, deeply lengthen, get as much fullness in your torso as you can. Exhale, come all the way back up. Uncross your legs if they're crossed, and then recross the opposite shin in front. If you're seated in a chair, simply loosen and stretch your toes, wiggle your feet around. And then forward fold with the opposite shin in front if you're seated on the floor. And once again, just simply move side to side, open, shift, breathe. Ripple, a little bit of movement as well as exploratory breathing into your torso, your ribs, the back of your waistline, even up into the collarbones, the sides of the throat. And now we'll go back again to those undulations. Hands in front of you or hands to knees. Exhale, round your spine back. Inhale, lift, lengthen. Look up. Exhale to round. One more of these seated cat-cows, spinal undulations, forward and backward. Front plane and back plane dynamically rippling in and out of one another. And then we'll take our circles to the left. Draw your ribs over to the left and then back over to the right, lengthening from the waistline all the way up through the neck. Two more. Left to right. Noticing again any areas that tend to creak or squawk as you move, as you breathe. And then back to center. Inhale, lift, lengthen. Final time here. Exhale, forward fold. Press hands down. Breathe fullness into the torso. And then inhale, come all the way back up. And then with our breath, inhale, lift the arms up as you breathe in. Exhale, let the arms float down. 2 more times like that. Matching the rate of your inhale with the movement of your arms. Letting them cascade, float back down. Bring a gentleness to your actions. And then as you're ready, we'll transition onto our backs. Roll down onto your back. You're welcome to place another folded blanket underneath you if you wish. Take a moment and settle and notice what parts of those muscles that were just working, that you were just exploring, connecting between the ribs, along your spine, the back of your waistline. Which muscles continue to hold on? Which parts of your back, your neck, your stomach, your hips immediately release? And then with a deep and full breath, fill up again your entire torso, just like you did when you were holding yourself upright, up through the sides of your waist, the sides of your ribs, in between each rib, to the collarbones, even into the sides again of your throat, of your neck. And then with an exhale, release. Soften any areas that might be continuing to hold or grip. Do that 2 more times with the intention of loosening, of letting go, of drifting the tension out of your body like clouds across the sky. And 1 more. And then from here, we'll draw our right knee up towards our chest, right hand to the front of the right knee. Hug your right knee into your chest. Left knee can stay bent with the left foot on the ground. Roll the right ankle, wiggle the toes of the right foot. You can keep the left knee bent, or if it feels comfortable, extend the left leg along the ground. Move the right knee around in circles or in half circles, moving the right femur bone, the thigh, around in the hip socket. And then from here, interlace your hands behind the right thigh, or hold on to the right thigh and press your right leg towards straight. If the right leg doesn't straighten all the way, hold it somewhere along the spectrum of completely bent to completely straight, wherever feels suitable for your back, your hamstrings, your level of effort. Soften your shoulders away from your ears and down towards the ground. Bend your left knee if it's extended. Place the left foot on the mat. Externally rotate, draw your right thigh out to the side. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Place your right hand on the right thigh and gently move the right thigh away from the right hip bone. Staying away from the knee, come closer in towards your right hip bone, your pelvis, and press more at the root of your thigh. Breathe now your low belly up, spacious, away from your right thigh. All the way up through the bottom of the ribs, the back of the lungs, under the armpits again, and through the collarbones, the sides of the throat. Keeping that spaciousness across the front of your belly, pull your left thigh now in towards your chest. And again, grab the left thigh or interlace your hands behind the left thigh. And just as you did your right leg, start to extend the left leg towards straight, wherever suits your body today. Release the left foot back down. Release the right leg back down. Take 2 breaths, noticing any areas that are continuing to grip, to hold residual tension from those last few shapes. Exhale, let the tension with your breath ripple out. And draw your left knee up towards your chest. Left hand to the front of the left knee. Roll the left ankle, wiggle the toes, rippling out any tension through the toes, the sole of the foot. And then again, begin to draw half circles or full circles with the left thigh around in the hip socket. Once again, the right leg can stay with the foot on the ground, knee bent, or extend the right leg long along the ground. Stay with this peaceful, rippling, releasing, drifting, tension, movement, breath in and out of the body evenly. We'll extend the left leg when you're ready. So either hands grip the thigh, behind the thigh, somewhere along the hamstrings, and press the left leg towards straight. Somewhere along the spectrum of all the way bent and all the way straight, you find your ease. Balancing your effort, soften your shoulders away from your ears. Notice if the low back is rounding and you're pressing the low back down. So if you can re-find a little bit of that undulation of the spine to create a gentle curve in your low back, releasing the shoulders away from the ears. Can you even out your inhales and your exhales? Notice if there's any area, even of your breath, that seems to catch or squawk or hold. There's physical effort that can show up even in the pace and the smoothness of our breath as we inhale and exhale. First, start by simply observing, like you would again search through the clouds for shapes that you might recognize. And then rebend the right knee, place the right foot on the ground. Externally rotate the left thigh, draw the left knee out to the side, bend the left knee, and place the left ankle across the right thigh. Bring your left hand down to the root of your left thigh, close to your left hip socket, and press gently the left thigh bone away from you. Remembering to stay away from the left knee, move more towards the base, the root, where your thigh bone meets your hip. And then inhale and lengthen the low belly, the low back, the low ribs, up away from that downward pressure, that rootedness that you're creating with your left hand. Breathe into your torso all the way up through the sides of your throat, all the way up towards the ears. And then from that, noticing how that affects, shifts, changes the arch in the low back. Draw your right leg again towards you. Holding on to the right thigh any way that you can. And explore again how far, how gentle, how much extension in your right leg feels appropriate today. Release the shoulders away from your ears and breathe. See if you can gently again nod towards that undulation of your spine, the flexion, the movement in your pelvis. Notice how that changes the stretch of your outer hip, your low back, shoulders away from your ears. Taking your time to send your breath, your attention, your awareness towards the areas that might be holding, gripping, squawking with tension. This helps us learn to listen to the language of our body, sensation. Letting go of labeling it right, wrong, good, bad, and simply adjust to feeling more comfortable, more attuned to the needs of your body. Or if nothing else, send a rippling breath to welcome uncertainty and meet it with resilience, with curiosity. Release right foot back down. Uncross left leg. Now bring your hands to the roots of both thighs. Press both thighs forward, away from you, down. Root the back of your pelvis. Inhale, lift and breathe. The low belly, the low back, the low ribs, all the way through the sides of the torso. Again, even elevating, lengthening under the armpits, up through the sides of your collarbones and the neck, the throat, even up through the backs of your eyes. Press into the feet. Animate gently the legs by pushing down where you touch the ground, under the soles of the feet, the back of the pelvis. One more breath. Spaciousness in your low belly, your low back. Relieve the pressure of your hands. Bring your arms down by your side. Bring your feet more directly underneath your knees. We'll be coordinating the lifting of our hips with the lifting and extension of our arms up overhead. We'll repeat this for a while so that we might practice letting our movement be inspired by our breath, even being connected to its length and rhythm. So the actions are pressing into your feet and lifting your hips up. Now here we are lifting, lengthening, not going to our highest bridge, extension, or back bend, but more pushing into the feet and lifting the hips up gently, and then exhaling and lowering them back down. You might stay only with the hips here for a while, inhaling and exhaling and noticing how your movement responds to your breath. And see if you can match your movement to your breath. Inhaling to lift and exhaling to lower. When and if you choose, you might add inhaling, lifting the arms, and exhaling, lowering the arms. Doing your best to coordinate both at the same time. Noticing the discrepancy and seeing if you can release any judgment or pressure to make them exact or even, and just simply notice when and how your movements and your breath connect, or when and how your body, your movement or sensation takes over. Inhaling, lift and lengthen. And exhaling, lower. Rippling your breath in, your breath out. If you feel a lot of pressure on the back of your neck, the back of your head, then perhaps leave the arms out and simply draw the shoulder blades back and down, elbows down, to help strengthen the back of the head, the neck, the shoulders as you lift the hips up and down. We'll repeat 5 more times with the arms and the legs, or simply just the legs, coasting on your breath. Let your hips settle back down to the ground, and once again scan through your body to notice any areas that are still gripping, holding on to the tension or the effort that the last few shapes brought about. With 3 deep inhales and exhales, invite any tension to float, to drift out of your body. Notice any thoughts, critiques, classifications, or commentary on how your body, your breath, your postures aligned, and even your thoughts. Notice them and invite the same coasting, drifting fluidity. Note them. Invite a spacious distance like that you might sense watching clouds drift by. Thoughts, emotions, like speedboats on the water, cruising past. And then, as you're ready, right knee up again. Right knee moves around. Left knee can stay bent or extend the left leg all along the ground. Right knee over to the right. Draw the right knee back to center. Cross left hand to right knee. And then as you're ready, draw the right knee across. Any amount for the spinal twist. Your right arm might go back out to the right or again up overhead. Keep extending out through the left leg. Move the base of your right thigh away from your belly. Like we did when we were on our backs. Breathe length, spaciousness all the way up through the back of the right ribs, underneath the right armpit, through the collarbones, the throat. You can always support underneath the right knee with a blanket, a bolster, or anything else you have around that might feel supportive. Or even bend your left elbow, place it on the ground, make a tray out of your left hand, and rest your right thigh, your right knee into that. One more breath. Draw everything back to center. Renegotiate your hips, your back. And then extend right leg along the ground. Arms up overhead, full body stretch. And soften, release, relax. Bend the knees, place the feet on the floor. Left knee up towards the chest. Move the left thigh around. Right knee can stay bent or extend, right leg along the ground. As you're ready, left knee opens to the left. Notice how the right hip might start to lift up. Do your best to lower it. Keep it anchored. And then draw the left knee across the body. Right hand switches to left knee and begin your twist. Any amount. Once again, there may be parts of your body that start to squeak, that resist. Don't press or push or bound through that. Bring a ripple of breath, of curiosity, of patience into those areas. Slowly breathe yourself open. Or even pause, stay right there, rearrange, reorient, listen to what your body is saying. Some things to explore. Move the base of the left thigh away from the ribs, like you were pressing the base or the root of the femur bone away from your belly. Left arm can go out to the side or up overhead. It doesn't even have to match the first side. Breathe. Create a little tray for your left thigh, or stack some blankets, or perhaps even twisting all the way until the left knee comes down towards the ground. Notice how that might create a lift through the torso. You can press your right elbow down and aim your left shoulder blade back down towards the mat. You explore what works for your body here in this supine twist. And as you're ready, you might wave to the passerbys that are watching. And then inhale, bring yourself back up to center. Full body stretch. Release. Notice again as you bend your knees, place your feet on the ground. If there's any gripping, any tension after that twist, place hands on the bottom of your thighs. Root. Breathe length, fullness from the low belly up through the low back, through the ribs, the side bodies, the armpits, the collarbones. You might even again add some of those spinal undulations, finding a bit more freedom, ripple through your spine, through your back. Now, for our Shavasana, for our final relaxation, you can stay here, keeping your knees bent, widening your feet and allowing your knees to draw towards one another. Or extend your legs along the ground. Full Shavasana, tucking your shoulder blades underneath you. Or if you happen to have a nice log, or you can create one with bolsters, with blankets. Then elevate the backs of your knees, or even the backs of your calves, so that the feet are free, whichever one feels best for you. You can also use a bench or a chair at your house to bring the shins elevated to 90 degrees from the floor. Some version of this that feels comfortable, to allow a softening, a release, a drifting of the circulation from your legs through the pelvis. Settling in for a few rounds here, eyes open or closed, breathing. If there's any remaining gripping in your body, invite it to drift out with your exhales. Similarly, as emotions or thoughts drift by through your heart or your gut, behind your eyelids, through the center of your mind. Invite them too to drift like clouds across the sky. like ripples across water. Some shapes in the clouds can call our attention more towards creativity. Some ripples caused by faster thoughts, more aggressive, speedboat-like thoughts can sometimes draw our attention. Demanding more momentum, more energy. Over the next few moments, invite yourself to soften away from that momentum, even away from that inspired creativity to make up any stories, to demand any actions, and simply be, relax, breathe. Remind yourself, now is the time of relaxation. Now is the time of relaxation. Broaden your mind, your attention, to encompass all of the thoughts that drift through. Expand your body to encompass all of the sensations that move through. Widen your capacity to honor all of the feelings that come alive within you. Here and now, simply be and breathe. Now is the time of relaxation. Deepen your breath as we begin to retrace our steps back to a seated position. Welcome an imprint, an insight, a feeling, sensation, or a thought that you would like to cultivate. Wiggle your fingers, toes, move any way you wish. Eventually, rebend your knees if they are not. Roll over onto either side, perhaps making a pillow for your head with your upper arm. And then slowly bring yourself up to a seat. Thank you for joining me for practice today. Thank yourself for making the time. I hope you enjoyed your glimpse of Heyburn State Park. Peace.